Hello, today is the 10th of March, so we are having a MicroProfile AI discussion. Please help out with taking minutes and etc. Okay, let me share my screen. Share. So it's the repo will be created this week. So I got in touch with Dimitri. He's going to create the repo for us this week because he was on some event last week. He was busy, so he said he will get to it this week. Also, I sent a reminder to him today as well. I will, watch out. And once we get a repo created, and then I will send an email to the Google group, and then you will be notified about the repo creation. We have a couple of things to discuss. The first thing, last week we went through the agentic AI. The Emmanuel on the call. Emmanuel, yes. So Emmanuel, did you manage to work on this agentic AI?
So what I did, I don't know if it was you are expecting, is so I've produced an example of making a small LLM Long-Chain4j application that use MCP clients to connect to MCP server.
That's great. Awesome.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's the same example that we are using currently. And well, it's all Wi-Fi powered for now, but because in Wi-Fi I also provide the MCP server integration, so that your own Java code, I mean your own Jakarta IE application can be exposed as an MCP server. So yeah, I have the car booking example.
I ask you to please put a link to the sample in the agenda.
I didn't hear you properly.
So Ed, your voice sounds very far away. Oh, I see. Okay.
But I just asked if you could put an example, a link to the example in the agenda.
Yeah, Emmanuel, do you have a PR?
Yeah, no, I have a Git repository.
Yeah,
I can add it to the agenda here. Sorry.
Okay. Add it in there.
But currently you can't build it because I need to release the Wi-Fi feature pack. I mean, you have to. There is a little caveat around this because I'm using Wi-Fi Grow, which is something that discovers what you are using in your application, and you need the snapshot version, which is not what is currently using by default. So you have to use a workaround for that. So I will have to first. I will have to update the. I have to release the Wi-Fi feature pack for it to work out of the box.
Okay, that's great.
I have pushed the application.
Is your Quarkus example ready?
No, it's not. It's a Wi-Fi example.
Oh well, I see. So you said basically is you took a Quarkus with MCP server as kind of example, and then you worked on the Wildfly example, right?
What I did is I started from the Quarkus MCP extension, and I rewrote it for it to work in Wi-Fi. Well.
Oh, okay.
So it's a pure Wi-Fi extension that is using Wi-Fi internals to expose it. So that's why it's not working with STDO, but only SSE, because Wi-Fi doesn't provide a way for you to have a command line. And then what I did is I did the car booking example that we had, all the tools, I move it to the MCP server, I can show you the code if you want.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah, go on.
maybe
I was going to say, go ahead
share.
and share. You can take
One
us through.
use system desktop capture. Needs select a window or yeah. Do you? So I will.
Yeah, I can see it.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the MCP server, and that's the code. That's the booking service. It's the same code as what we have in the example. The only difference is, so I'm using the same kind of annotation as Quarkus, except that it's my own block of annotation, because I didn't want to pull all this Quarkus code. And so that's the app tool, and that we have here. And that will build, yeah, it is. Here we are, sorry. Yeah.
You use the Quarkus,
No,
oh no, you
this,
didn't get any dependency on Quarkus extension,
no,
right?
it's nothing from Quarkus, it's pure Wi-Fi. So this is what we use to provision a server that will only export, that will provide the MCP functionality. And then here you have the same example, I mean, it's always the same code. Sorry, for the AI service, for example. And here, the only change is here we have two provider, Cisco MCP, that I will, and because of that, it will provide a connection to the configuration live in Wi-Fi, because this is how we are using it in Wi-Fi, but it will connect to create a two provider that is called MCP, inject it through CDI, through all the small ILM stuff, and connect to the other Wi-Fi instance that is running. So you have two Wi-Fi instances, one which is I would say the MCP and tools, and one which is only the LLM related application. And yeah, and this is
So
using function, small LLM.
okay, so
small LLM annotation.
so from the API point of view, you basically only need to change one annotation. So you added one more field. That's all.
Yeah. For now, what I did is, so the two provider name is just a single name. I didn't know if you want to have multiple providers or just one. So I just select one for now. I don't know if it makes sense or
Yeah.
But that's the only thing that is yeah. So that's what I added. So instead of adding the tools to the service, we are adding the two provider in small high LLM, and that's that way, because MCP tool provider can connect to multiple MCP servers. So you don't have to select just one, but you can have multiple MCP servers.
Yeah. So for the two provider, apart from MCP, what others?
I don't. I don't. I mean, it's all the two providers that you can do with Long-Chain4j. So I don't know if there are others. Currently, I've just played with MCP because I was doing this MCP thing, and I wanted to show the fact that I can expose also with Wi-Fi MCP tools.
Okay.
But I mean, it's checking on the two provider interface from Long-Chain4j for injection. So you can provide your own two providers too, as long as you are implementing the interface.
Yeah. To start with, I think we can go just have one simple one. If there's more things to pop up, and we can change it to be a list or something like that.
But the idea was to have at least something working that we can people can play with and see what is missing, because so that's in small by LLM 0.0.4.
Okay. So other things like how did you do the MCP server? You said that you have 2 instances, Wildfly.
It's pure Wi-Fi code. Sorry. Yeah. That's my Wi-Fi code, and
Yeah.
yeah,
You
I have my stuff in Wi-Fi to do all the MCP code. So to detect annotation for deployments and then to have the message handler, etc., connected to the Undertow. So yeah, it's really pure Wi-Fi, and I took inspiration from Quarkus, but we did
okay.
the worst stuff in Wi-Fi code.
So is there any kind of the APIs you need to implement in the runtime?
Well, no, there
So
is
for
no.
being
I mean, the API is the specification is a JSON RPC 2.0 specification defined by MCP. So that's
oh, okay.
so I mean, and then I don't know if I have some code MCP message handler. Yeah, you see, okay, I'm getting those MCP messages from JSON RCP messages, and then I have to process them, etc., etc. But that's not the API is not a Java API. I mean, it's just the messages that they have defined for now.
Okay, can you go to the top of this one? So what import statement they like?
What the input?
Oh, so I was thinking like you said is implement MCP kind of MCP APIs. Where do you specify that?
Oh, yeah. So yeah, I have this one, which is this is well, this is very these are the annotations that I have defined to say that the code is to be exposed as a MCP function.
Okay.
So those are you want to. This is something that is going to you have tool. I do more. I mean, do more. Sorry. There are more than just tools. There are prompts, etc. And we are trying to see how you can use that to make your application, for example, pull the prompt from the MCP server instead of having the prompt defined in the code itself, in the LLM application code itself.
Yeah, so basically in your kind of example there, like the car booking, I saw you use @to annotation, right?
No, I use Undertow code, but no. Those annotations, I put them. There's the annotations and the, I would say, API that you could use to define your tooling, your tools, your prompts, etc. Because you have to define, for example, because there are several things in MCP. There is tools. There are tools, resources, and resources can be binaries. So you have to define. It's going to be an image content, for example, so that I know, so that the MCP client knows what kind of object is going to have, and so it's base 64, and there's to decode it, etc., etc.
Oh, I
So
see. So
currently,
yeah.
currently, I have played with the MCP. So Longchain just support MCP tools.
Yeah.
But you can use MCP client to get the prompts, etc., or to get a resource.
So from what I have seen so far, so as MCP doesn't have a Java API, but it has some contract. You say you
Actually, it
got to.
does. I put a link into the chat.
Oh,
It
you
has
have.
it has a Java SDK. So my question to Emmanuel was going to be: does your thing have any dependency on the Anthropic Java
No.
SDK? No. Okay.
No,
You don't need it.
no, because if I remember correctly, the Java SDK is mostly Kotlin. But it's just a Java API on top of the Kotlin SDK. That was my understanding.
Yeah.
So yeah, so no, there is no. My only dependencies are Wi-Fi and JSON RPC. Sorry, JSON Jackson, and something about on top of Jackson that provides that will generate a JSON schema from beans, because you have to send the schema of your tools, and that's I think it's in the I have to. I did this a while ago. Non, c'est le tool message handler. Maybe, yeah, I think it's, yeah, that's it. The schema generator config builder. I don't remember what is, but that's my only, yeah, config tools. That's the only thing that on top of Jackson plus, but Jackson is part of well, Wi-Fi. So this is the only stuff I needed, and my API library to define my annotation. You can see in the in here. I mean, sorry. In here, that's the only well. So okay, Jakarta E, of course, MCP API. So that's where my annotation lies, and GBoss logging, because I wanted to have some traces, but that's all that is required.
So in order for others, the other runtime to do the exactly same support, so they also need to provide this MCP server, like per runtime.
I mean, for example, for Liberty, I guess you will have to create a new feature that would scan for those annotations and also interact with the, I don't know what is the underlying HTTP layer, because you have to be able to react. I mean, sorry, you have to be able to react to because they are posting messages, and you have to send SSO event, server-side event. So that's why you need to plug into the HTTP layer. Initially, I tried to do it using JAX-RS because there is a SSC support in JAX-RS, but it was a bit clunky, and I didn't. I don't remember exactly why, but I thought it was easier for me to. Yeah, because okay, that's I remember now why. Because the issue was that that would require the code to be added on each deployment, and I couldn't do that by Wi-Fi. I mean, people would have to add the servlet and the endpoints manually on every deployment. While with that, I can do it under the hood, but with Wi-Fi to add the endpoints directly on the HTTP layer.
Okay,
That's
so that's
why,
quite nice, because utilize the Jakarta E kind of RESTful web services, and then they makes the connection with the MCP server quite easily. So can you also put a link to this Wildfly AI feature pack? So it's, yeah, put on the minutes so people can take a look. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wildfly.
Oh yeah, I will need to release it, but I was just also trying to see if because I noticed that now Longchain has several content retrievers, and one of them is using is a bit more complex. So I wanted to see if I could make it work. They are using a chat language model to create cipher queries and run them against Neo4j. And do that to get the content instead of relying on embeddings. So using GraphQL queries instead of embeddings to get content. But well,
Oh,
yeah.
you also trying to use GraphQL as well. Which part you are going to use the GraphQL?
In the content structure, in the RAG. In the RAG part, currently, in the RAG part, we are creating
Do
a
the
number.
searching.
Sorry?
Do the searching. The retrieving in the RAG.
Yeah, the retrieving, yeah, the retrieving, exactly. But because
So
currently, instead of,
you could. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, I mean, usually what we do is that you create an embedding based from the query from the user, and then you do an embedding research, I would say, from them, and get the result. While there, the idea is that you, from the query from the users, they are creating a GraphQL query using a dedicated LLM, and then running against the schema, the GraphQL database, and get the data that way. So it's different.
Okay. So do you know MicroProfile GraphQL?
No.
So I think probably you are better off to use the MicroProfile GraphQL. So that's even make the connection with the GraphQL even more kind of the much simpler. So it's basically you annotate the kind of the method, etc. And then especially like for example, handle requests, etc. You just say the whole class is at GraphQL, and then you can do some method. You do a query, and you can directly get it.
Yeah, but I mean, this is done at Longchain for J level. So yeah, I mean, not that it's not a good idea. I mean, but what I was doing was I was just using pure Longchain for Longchain for J provide the Neo4j content retriever. This is not something I wrote. I just do the integration.
Oh, I see. So basically, in launching community, in launching, there's a project launching 4G, Neo 4G.
Yeah, there is an extension for Neo4j, and it's I think I don't. And yeah, there is a Neo4j module, and it does. Initially, I thought it was just an embedding store, but then I noticed that it's also a content retriever. So it does both things. I mean, you can just use it in a regular, I would say, embedding way, or using that. And I wanted to play with that to see, because it's a bit different, because then you have to inject the chat language model into the content retriever, which is not something we used to do. That's why it's a bit more complex, and that's why it's something that I wanted to, I mean, to play with to see if there are some limitation on how it works with our code.
Oh, that sounds great. Okay, so this is really wonderful. So that means you are going to do, once you get things tetted up, you're going to do kind of the PR on the small right dash LLM.
I don't know if it's, I mean, for the Neo4j part, I don't think it is required. Currently it
Okay.
works. It seems to, I mean, sorry, it seems to work with, but I haven't been able to properly test it, because first you have to have a Neo4j with data on it. So it's a bit, so I need to have that. And also I had some issue to run the models dedicated to create the cipher queries locally because they were too big for my laptop. So and it takes some time to download, etc. So I mean, the loop is a bit long for now. So that's why I don't know if it works. It is supposed to work, but I have to make sure.
Yeah, this is quite good. And then hopefully next week, if once you get it working, you give us a demo to see how the agentic AI is working. And then we'll see how to enable for other runtime to provide a similar functionality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is really good. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Are there anything else people want to say? At the end of
Well, I want to say thanks, but I also want to ask, is your intent to have the MCP enabled car booking example in a runnable state that's similar to what we have with like the Liberty and Helidon ones already in there?
Yeah.
The answer is yes, Ed.
Okay.
And once Emmanuel got it working on the Wildfly, and then it seems like other runtime need to provide an extension as well.
Right.
So that may be a harder, maybe a slower kind of thing. But I think we should try to demonstrate this programming model and pattern works.
And maybe what we can do is maybe move my API module into small LLM, so that I mean, well, this is all in my namespace, but maybe I could move it afterwards. I mean, afterwards, I can move it to small LLM, and then it makes it easier to really reuse the same code, except for the I would say hook on the HTTP layer.
Yeah, so do a PR once you get working. And then looks like an API, you only need to add one.
It is it is working. It's just not released, but it is working.
Oh, it is working. Okay, so that's good. So basically, I'm saying just create a PR on the small right dash LLM, and then people can see the code.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you all, and talk to you later. Yeah, bye.
Thanks.
Bye.